The evening of July 17th, 1944 had been clear and cool. A beautiful moonless night, not a cloud in the sky. Just after 10 p.m., about 800 of the men at Port Chicago heard the last command for lights out in their barracks, a mile and a half from the docks.
And my nightly habit, if I didn't have the night watch, was then to go in and wash up, brush my teeth, and you know how kids had the pimples. I had Noxzema. I went in and washed up, put on my Noxzema, and come out and put my gear in my locker and climbed in the bed.
320 men had just finished loading the E.A. Bryan with some 4,600 tons of ammunition. They were also busy rigging the brand new ship, the Quinault Victory. At 10:18 p.m., their world blew apart. Two explosions, 5 seconds apart, blew both ships out of the water and into memory.
See, like the sun rose in a few seconds. Just plain daylight. From midnight to daylight in less than a second.
The E.A. Bryan, literally blown to bits.
Somebody shouted out, "Oh my God, we're being bombed."
The Quinault Victory, all 11,000 tons of it, was lifted clear out of the water, turned around, and broken into pieces.
The first explosion was an attention getter. The second explosion devastated the barracks.
The boxcars disintegrated into hot projectiles flying through the air. The 1,200-foot-long pier broke into 1,000,000 pieces. The shock waves, registering a 3.4 on the Richter scale, were felt as far away as Nevada.
You heard the people screaming. Then you hear the second floor coming down. And the guy, my bunkmate, next bunk, he couldn't get out. So his arm fell on the floor. Something cut his arm off. And I lay down there, it's all pitch black. But it was light, you could see the stone flopped out on the floor. Blop. Then still more people screaming, trying to get out.
Everyone on the pier, and those on board the two ships and a Coast Guard barge, were killed instantly. 320 men, 202 of them black. The explosion was the last thing Robert Ralph ever saw.
I was laying in my bed with my head resting on my arm, looking in this direction, and the explosion came from this way. So obviously you raised up and looked towards the explosion. And flying glass and concussion, my left eye was so badly lacerated that it was removed that night.
Nothing in the town of Port Chicago, a mile away, escaped the force of the explosion. The shops and buildings were ravaged, more like scenes from a war a half a world away. In the movie theater, 192 patrons were interrupted from watching the war movie China. No one was killed in the town, but the community would never recover.